What is up, everyone? This is Apion coming back to you after, jeez, how long has it been? It's been a week. Man, I apologize for that. It's been over a week since I last uploaded. Yep, I am dreadfully sorry. This past week has been kind of crazy. Had some personal stuff I needed to deal with. But yeah, hopefully I can get back to doing this. I say that a lot. I probably should, be a little consistent because, consistency is always... Anyway, off track. Got this. So, anyway, Game 3 between our two excellent players here. July, the red Zerg in the top right corner. His opponent will be the yellow Terran player, PuMa. Yep, this is Game 3 between these two players. July did take the first game by storm on Tal'Darim Altar. His army was just a little bit too much for PuMa to be able to handle. And then PuMa coming back, winning the second one with some pretty amazing Hellion harassment. That was pretty crazy on Backwater Gulch, in case you were interested of knowing that. So the score currently stands 1 win to 1. This is still anybody's round in a best of 5 setup. So yeah, this map is played on Xel'Naga Caverns. So pretty interesting, pretty different from the last couple of games that we've seen from these guys. Xel'Naga Caverns both quite smaller, and Tal'Darim Altar and Backwater Gulch are both 4-player maps. This is a 2-player map straight up, so scouting is less of an issue, less of finding where your opponent is and more just finding out what they are doing. July will notice that PuMa has immediately started on this orbital command almost as soon as that barracks is finished. So early orbital command going in there. PuMa is going to most likely be looking for macro style of play. Not a whole lot of rushing going on here. But here is something interesting. PuMa is now getting a tech lab on this barracks at the intro to his base. It's interesting because in the past couple of games, PuMa has gotten a reactor and then switched it out with his factory for some fast Hellion production. So, Tech Lab could mean, it could mean several things. Could mean he's still going for Hellions and just going for get the blue flame upgrade. It could be going for siege tanks, or it could be just jumping forward into even Thors, I guess. But only time will really tell. Maybe he's just going for the Marine Marauder this time. There is another command center on the way for PuMa, so he is looking to expand. July has taken his expansion already. So, PuMa a little bit behind on that expansion there, but that is okay because you're always behind Zerg in expansion when both players are playing macro style. PuMa has scouted at the same time with this SCV and is now chilling in the top left corner of the base. Could only guess what that SCV will be up to and how it will be utilized later in the game. July, a little bit supply blocked right now. Got an Overlord on the way, though, so that should be taken care of momentarily. Zergling speed is on the way as well. Roach Warren just barely going down. So July... foregoing his usual of lots and lots and lots of Zerglings, as we've seen in the past couple of games, and instead opting for some Roach play this time. There's that SCV coming back, doing a little bit more scouting. It will see that this expansion is up and running, but then it will get taken out by some Zerglings and a very dedicated Queen. So yeah, Overlord is now up. July, once again, supply blocked. That was fast. Another Overlord on the way. Roach Warren just about to finish up here. PuMa has gotten another barracks out and is building a reactor on and building a factory. No, that is the same barracks, putting a reactor out. More Hellions coming out. So indeed, PuMa is going for the blue flame Hellion upgrade and will continue for that Hellion harassment. There we go. Reactors finishing up and switching the factory with that barracks, which immediately starts training a couple of Hellions there. PuMa's got his second command center as an orbital command, but hasn't moved it to an expansion yet. Just producing SCVs at the moment. So not entirely sure what his plan is right there. There is a supply depot up in the top of PuMa's base That is excellent placement right there, just in case July decides to go for any sneaky drops or Nidus placement. It's always a good idea to put some, get vision of your entire base, just in case anything tricky like that happens. PuMa finishing the supply depot. That SCV is now trapped. See if PuMa will realize that anytime soon, because I believe that SCV is moving around. I don't think that it actually counts as an idle worker. I don't think it does. But anyway, Hellions are now moving into July's base. Blue Flame Hellion upgrade is not quite finished. Oh, there we go. Just barely finished. Now frying drones left and right, but the Roaches and the Queen will be able to take it down. Let's see here. That is not the correct one. Alright. And through the magic of movie editing, we are back in the right position. Sorry about that. Trying to remember what the hotkey was for units killed. It is that one right there, and accidentally restarted the entire recording. But anyway, so yeah, Hellion continuing to be a little bit annoying, trying to get in there, do as much damage to the workers as he possibly can. But the Roaches will finally chase off the Hellion, but the Hellion is not going to be deterred, going back around the back, but July is anticipating this. Roaches getting in position to catch that Hellion, immediately going down right there. So yeah, no more Hellions for PuMa. July is safe with his workers at the moment. Let's look at the workers lost count. 17. 17 workers were able to be taken out by those Hellions. Here comes another one. At this point, it's mostly just for scouting, I think, as these Roaches are just too well entrenched for the Hellions to be able to get past there. There's a Reaper on the field, though. That could definitely get in behind and do some damage. But anyway, there's a more Hellions coming out for PuMa. And some siege tanks are on the field as well. So PuMa wisely not committing super heavily to this Hellion harassment, just keeping them up as much as humanly possible. Some Hellions are going to try and go around the back door, but there are some Roaches going to be waiting for them. Not enough to actually take care of them, though, so they will be able to fry some proer defenseless drones. Well, not entirely defenseless, but that is enough drones. Enough drones going down that it is not going to be very helpful. There are some Roaches going to intercept these last Hellions. Is that going to kill them? No, it's not going to kill any drones up in the main before the Roaches finally take it out. July putting down a macro hatchery at his expansion. That will definitely help him use this gas that is starting to build up here at 600 gas. PuMa in about the same position, needing the minerals. There's some more Hellions on the field for PuMa. Is he going to continue with the harassment? It doesn't look like it. Hellions just placed in the back in case there's some any no, the Hellions are going to be moving around. Looks like they're doing a little bit of scouting at the moment, though. July putting down his third and is now using his commanding his Roaches to knock down the rocks on the way to his third. Always a good idea. But July is going to see the Hellions coming in and move to intercept them just in time. That was me scratching my head there in case you didn't notice. PuMa still not noticing that this SCV is trapped up here. There's this essentially an idle worker, but as it is moving around, it doesn't actually register as an idle worker. Overseer coming in, seeing what he can see. Scouting PuMa does have 3 factories and a barracks with a tech lab. 2 factories with tech labs, as a matter of fact. Siege tanks, siege mode has been researched. There are a couple more Hellions. These Hellions are just relentless. I admire their dedication. If it is a little bit misplaced, these Hellions don't think they're going to be able to do any damage, especially every single time they go around the back. They are spotted by this Overlord, and July is totally on top of this Overlord. That is excellent advice there for any new players. If you do put your Overlords or your Overseers or whatever getting map vision, please actually use that map vision. Having the map vision is absolutely nothing if you don't have the map awareness and keep an eye on the mini-map for that. But anyway, July's upgrade expansion is now up and running. Hellions were able to fry a couple of drones there, but that is not going to stop them. July knocking down the rocks at the gold expansion, also known as the high yield expansion. But that is a lot of siege tanks on the field for PuMa. I'm not entirely sure what July can do to counter those siege tanks at this point. with what he has. But he does have a lot of Zerglings, morphing almost every single one of them into Banelings. That is more than 24, 28 Banelings that are just getting morphed in. I probably could have just looked at the production tab instead of doing the math in my head, but, you know, whatever. Baneling speed getting upgraded as well, so those Banelings could be pretty scary against these Marines, but at the same time, those Siege Tanks are in just well enough position that anything that tries to go up against these Banelings just will not, or anything that goes up against these Siege Tanks will not last very long. However, July is paying attention. The Siege Tanks are now unsieged. Oh, never mind. There we go. Siege Tanks going down, spacing them out as well, so Zerglings that run in and bridge the gap super fast will not be able to deal lots and lots of damage. Roach is trying to split up and take PuMa's army by surround, noticing that the lots and lots of Siege Tanks are on the field, deciding to pull back, not going to engage PuMa's army, even though this number of Roaches, plus this number of Roaches, could probably take that number of Marines quite easily, but not willing to get into range of those Siege Tanks, and wisely so. Oh, man. There's some Roaches going to move around, do a little bit of scouting, make sure PuMa doesn't have any bases that he should know about. Moving in to check the third, see if there's anything going on there, but there is not. Excuse me. But PuMa does have his third expansion at the gold expansion. Has a sensor tower in place as well. Excellent placement on that. You can see anything happening anywhere around the center of the map, including at the Zelnaga Towers, which is where the armies tend to congregate quite a lot. So PuMa can see effectively all of July's army movements, which is a huge advantage for PuMa, as July just cannot catch him unawares unless he goes around the sides, which there is only one route available to him, and he'd have to be extremely careful to get to it too. There are Marines in the back of July's back door, but Roaches are able to take that out, but not before the Marines are able to take out that Overlord. Here comes some Marines just running through, scans going down, revealing the creep tumors and destroying July's creep spread in the process. Roaches will come through and sizzle a couple of Marines at the same time, but this is just not really that big of a cost to PuMa. Look at so many Siege Tanks. How many Siege Tanks is that? That is 15 Siege Tanks. Roaches coming in for July. Here comes some Banelings as well. PuMa stutter-stepping those Marines. Not going to be enough. Not enough mobility on those Marines, but it does not even matter. Banelings only managed to take out a few Roaches there. Oh, July losing his entire army there. There's going to be the GG by July. Oh, man. That attack just did not happen as was intended. So many Siege Tanks. July wisely going GG right there. All PuMa really needed to do at this point was push for the win. And July would not be able to do. Let's push back a little bit so we can have vision of what July has here at the end. Let's go. Let's make it go fast. Go a little faster. Here comes the attack. Yada yada yada. Rar, fear my thunder. And pause it right there. Let's see what July has here. Not a whole lot. He does end the game with about 86 supply. That is almost entirely drones, though. Drones and queens. So he does let his macro slip quite a bit during this attack, though. He still has almost 2,000 minerals. It gets up to above 2,000 minerals by the end of the game, I think. So that is a lot. That could potentially be a lot of Roaches and a lot of Zerglings. Does he have tech for anything else? No, he does not. He has his lair up, but no tech, no infestors, no mutalisks, no hydralisks, although hydralisk is, you know, going against Marine Siege Tank, probably not the best idea in the world going hydralisks, as those Siege Tanks can just destroy Hydras so quickly, and there's so many Siege Tanks that is just not an option. But yeah, well played by PuMa. Good game indeed. PuMa does take the second win. This is a best out of 5, so if PuMa wins this next round, he will move on to the finals to face off against MC. I believe, was the winner of the last of the other semifinals round. But it is still anybody's game. We did see that July won the first game and PuMa took it back in the second one. So July is not out of this completely by any means. So we will go on to the fourth game. I will see you guys